don't know anything about me. You don't know anything about my partner. You don't know anything about our relationship. You don't know anything about my health. Absolutely nothing. You have absolutely no right to have any opinion on my life. Stop sending me silly advice about who I should be with, who shouldn't I be with. Don't send me any links to any blogs. Don't do anything. Keep your gossip to yourself.
Every day you think or you see the one thing that you're yearning for, the one thing that you absolutely would love to have, and God takes it away, and then you're just like, but why? Why put me through so much heartache? You know?
It has nothing to do with you. You're not going to come and police my behavior, my decisions, my choices in 2020. This is not your mother's house.
Influencers and content creators tend to bombard us with highlight reels, likes, views, followers, subscribers, viral moments, TikTok clips, six-figure brand deals, and vlogs. Everyone is chasing the trophy, but no one wants to talk about what happens behind the scenes, right? We see 1% of these influencers' lives and assume and think that they're living these glamorous lives and these beautiful lives. We see the parties, the brand deals, the trips, the photos, and everything that they post online, and we assume that they're happy. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Hi, and welcome back to the channel. Come closer, class is in session. Today, I'll be talking about this dark side of influencer fame, right? Now, influencers and content creators, TikTok stars and celebrities are affected by this the most. They have lost the ability of normalcy simply because they chose fame, right? They chose to put themselves out there, right? Now it's affecting their lives, their personal brands, and their mental health. How does one navigate life knowing and understanding that whatever you say or do, everyone is going to have an opinion about it? Right? Now, the curse of visibility simply means being seen online by thousands, if not millions, of digital eyes on a day-to-day basis, right? Influencers post constantly, every day, right? Now, the curse of visibility simply means that whatever you post online, you are seen by a lot of people. And a lot of people simply means that they have opinions. And when people have opinions, you can offend a certain group, and that can get you into trouble. I mean, a perfect example of this is Mihlali. I remember when she was still arguing with her ex-boyfriend Leroy, she said something on a live. She said he's an after 9, right? Little did she know that by just saying that statement, she's going to offend the LGBTQ plus community. She then had to post a status online apologizing to the community. So the curse of visibility simply means that what you normally do around maybe your friends, you and I, or say in front of your friends, we can let it slide. But with these influencers and content creators, they need to be very careful because whatever they say or do can offend a huge group of people, and it's not nice. It's not nice. Now, with that said, accessibility and visibility and opportunity are the costs of fame, right? And we can argue or we can agree to disagree, right? Influencers are good at everything, but one thing they all fail at is controlling public opinion. Now, influencers overshare their lives online, which is not normal. I mean, back in the days, the only people who had an opinion about the choices you make and the things that are happening in your life was family and friends. Now with social media and posting, strangers, monitoring spirits, and online bullies have opinions and access to influencers via the comment section, DM, as well as reaction videos, making it extremely difficult for influencers to create content. Because now influencers create content these days by making sure that when they post, they are closing the comment section, closing their DMs, and making sure that you can't reply to their stories because they are tired of people harassing them, right? Insulting them and having these personal attacks on them, because now creating content is no longer fun for influencers. It's becoming extremely difficult. With that said, influencers also tend to act before they think, right? So whatever you post, good or bad, it can work against you, really. Now, subscribers and followers, As well as the creators, influencers, TikTok stars have this love-hate relationship with each other, whereby the subscribers and followers will support influencers, love influencers, root for influencers, but the very next day they are the same subscribers and followers who are causing them pain, hurt, and anxiety. Right? So you can never win or fully trust the relationship between the two. Now, being an online star can be very challenging, right? Things can turn against you sooner or later and very quickly, you know? I mean, living your life in front of an audience is extremely difficult. You fail, you change, and you go through normal life experiences and events while everyone is watching. Everyone has an opinion to say. It can be really, really hard for influencers because sometimes you're just trying to be your true self, but not knowing that your true self is going to offend a certain group of people. Do you get what I'm saying? Now, making your entire life a money-making machine is exhausting. And influencers can't take breaks and have to deal with life situations on the go, right? When life gets tough, influencers can't take breaks. Brands are waiting. They want the next vlog, the next pictures, the next TikTok clip, right? So it's extremely difficult for influencers to live their lives because things happened to them and they have to quickly get up and start posting and move on because it's their job. It's their job. It's really sad to watch. Because with that said, this leads to my next point, right? Imagine Mihlali waking up in the morning, finding that her name is trending all over social media and she's being associated to things like home wrecker, men snatcher, or I mean, she's dating married men. What does she have to say to her brands? You know, Cyan Bougie, who woke up and her sex tape was all over the place. Really? Her sex tape was all over the place. What do you do then? Or Mstoli, EXO, you know, who was dragged for being Christian and lived her life as an Instagram baddie and doing ungodly things in her early 20s. She's still associated to that lifestyle even now. Or Grace, who's seen as a mean girl and the girl who paid for her ex-boyfriend's funeral and posted about it, you know? Or Big Naz, who cries online asking subscribers and followers to not skip ads while she's blowing money in the clubs every Friday and dating Nigerian men. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's extremely difficult to understand the lives of influencers or content creators because things happen to them behind the scenes that they don't speak about, right? They're scared to speak about these things because then it's used against them. It's very difficult, right? So the sad side of influencing no one tells you about. Here are a few things influencers have to deal with behind the scenes, right? I mean, consistency is breaking our influencers' self-esteem, right? With every post, every vlog, every picture leads to influencers building a fan base they really don't like or really don't understand anymore, simply because of the treatment they get and the realities of being an influencer behind the scenes. Now, this next point I want to talk about are points that I feel influencers go through these things privately and they just choose to keep quiet, right? The first is silent suffering. Now, they act like they're okay and move on very quickly, but deep down they know they're hurting, right? Whether it's from the lies that we created online as followers and subscribers, whether it's the fake stories we have created and the narratives that we run with that are ruining their lives and relationships, right? Whether it's brands not paying them on time or just keeping up with appearances simply because they have huge amounts of followers online, right? The second one is loneliness. After they post that picture, that video, that vlog, right? They get the views, they get the likes, they get the comments. They log off and go back to anxiety, depression, insecurities, and ongoing society pressures. You know, the third point is regret. They are constantly living in regret, right? Simply because they'll be like, why did I post that or share that? Look, now it's being used against me, right? Now, the next thing is society's pressures. Influencers under pressure. When you're an influencer, you're expected to have money, to live a certain lifestyle, to go to certain places, right? So influencers tend to just sit at home and just be sad and try to figure things out because, to be honest, guys, not everyone is making money out of influencing or content creation. That's the sad reality. Not everyone. Just because you look nice and post cute pictures does not mean you're making money online, right? Now, there are a few points left that I want to talk about. The first is public scrutiny, right? Now, as followers and subscribers, we tend to say whatever and do whatever to influencers and get away with it online, right? Not understanding that we are causing a lot of trouble and we are hurting people as well, because at the end of the day, influencers are human beings. They have lives, they are normal people, they have family members. So whatever we say and we run with that narrative and it trends, it's going to affect their lives, right? And the last point I want to talk about is the comment section bullying. Influencers are harassed, right? They are insulted, they are mocked, they are called out of their names, and they just try to ignore and continue with life. But it's not something that's very nice. It's becoming very difficult for them to create content. It's not easy because I am vlogging, but here you are body shaming me. Do you understand what I'm saying? I am vlogging, here you are bringing my ex back into the picture. For what? I don't understand, you know? So it's really difficult for them to live like this. Please take a listen to this and I'll be back. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is that the dark side of influencing or influencer fame no one talks about is that people tend to think that when you're an online star, TikTok star, influencer, content creator, celebrity, that you're making a lot of money online. This is not the reality, right? What he said in this clip is exactly what I'm about to say. Just because you have a huge following, you get the views that you get, it does not mean that you're making money, and it does not mean that brands are going to work with you. Now, with content creation in South Africa, is that we need to understand a lot of our content creators and influencers are not aligned, right? Alignment is very important, and with that said is that brands don't want to associate with themselves with anyone that's not aligned to who they are as well, right? And you need to be careful as a content creator to understand what content you're creating, because sometimes your content can offend the brand or the customers that are buying that particular brand. Do you get what I'm saying? So brands are very careful these days to work with influencers, because influencers tend to do everything and anything, which does not make sense to brands, because brands are a money-making machine, meaning that they value their customers more than anything. Right? With that said, thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. I promise I'll be consistent. We've reached a milestone that I never thought I would reach. We are officially monetized, and we'll see what happens. I just need to post consistently, and hopefully the topics will make sense and will get us more views and more subscribers, and we're just growing. We're growing. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.